Finally, Donald Trump is poised to give Obamacare the coup de grace and basically end this program, which has proven so controversial, so divisive, so destructive of health care, and ultimately so unnecessary. What he's going to do is to drop the second shoe. The first shoe was over Christmas, when the tax cut included a provision repealing the mandatory provision that everybody had to have health insurance. This provision, which forced people into the market and was designed to create a market of people that didn't need insurance but whose premiums would subsidize those who did, was repealed over Christmas by the Congress, thank goodness. But there remained the Obamacare requirement that everybody who has insurance has to have the same coverage, and it has to be a total package covering all 10 major diagnostic issues, from maternity care to psychological counseling to drug abuse counseling to sex change operations, the whole 9 yards, the whole 10 yards. And that requirement forced up the cost of Obamacare to a point where it became essentially unaffordable for the user and then increasingly for the taxpayer who had to subsidize it. Well, during the debate about repeal of Obamacare, Senator Ted Cruz of Texas led an effort to repeal that requirement so that any Obamacare policy could cover anything that the consumer wanted. Whatever he wanted, whatever he could afford, whatever he needed was included and nothing else. Cruz's amendment didn't pass, but now Trump has scooped it up and embodied it in a regulation that the feds are about to issue that will accomplish the same thing. What Trump is going to do is really skillful. And by the way, anybody who says this guy isn't on the top of his game, just look at the skill of his maneuver and his amendments and his proposals. This guy really does know what he's doing. There was a provision in Obamacare that said if two voluntary organizations got together and decided to offer a health care plan, they would have flexibility in what it would have to cover. And what Trump has done is take that provision and said, yeah, total flexibility, and they don't have to cover the 10 categories. And then he took a program that was set up for emergency health care, where it didn't have to cover the 10 categories as long as it was short-term and emergency, and he made it long-term and permanent. So with those two changes, which he's about to promulgate through regulations, you can buy an Obamacare policy covering anything and everything you want without having to pay for stuff you don't want and don't need and can't afford. With those two statements, regulations, on the one hand saying you don't have to buy insurance, and on the other hand saying if you do buy insurance, you can buy what you want and not what you don't, Obamacare becomes a really voluntary program, which is, I suppose, a useful addition to the mix of private health insurance, Medicaid, and the other forms of health care. But it is no longer socialized medicine, and it's no longer really a threat to the American healthcare system. Thanks for watching.